I used to believe betrayal only happened in movies. Big, dramatic scenes, screaming fights, flying plates, doors slamming. Not in quiet homes, not between best friends, not in marriages that lasted almost 2 decades. But I learned the hard way, because the woman who destroyed my life was the same woman who once held my hand in the hospital when I gave birth, the same woman who called me her sister, the same woman who promised she would protect my family if anything ever happened to me. Her name was Linda, my best friend since college, and the man she stole from me was my husband. 25 years later, that same woman would stand at my door crying, shaking, begging for my help. But before I tell you how karma finally caught her, let me take you back to the beginning. When I was in my early 40s, life felt simple. Not perfect, but honest. I lived in a quiet suburb outside Chicago. White fences, maple trees lining the streets, kids riding bikes until sunset. My husband Robert worked in construction management. Not rich, but stable. Strong hands, tired eyes, a man who believed in routine and hard work. We had one daughter, Emily, who was 12 back then. She loved drawing, hated math, and believed every stray cat was secretly magical. And then there was Linda. Linda and I met in college. We survived exams, heartbreaks, bad haircuts, and cheap ramen together. She was loud where I was quiet, bold where I was careful, funny where I was serious. People always said we balanced each other. She never married, said she liked freedom, said relationships bored her, so she became part of our family instead. She came for Sunday dinners, she helped Emily with school projects, she even had her own toothbrush in our guest bathroom. Looking back now, I wonder how many warning signs I ignored simply because love makes you blind. It started small. Linda began coming over more often when Robert was home. She laughed louder at his jokes, touched his arm while talking, complimented his shirts. I told myself I was being silly. She was my best friend, he was my husband. Trust was automatic. Then Robert started staying late at work. Phone always face down, short answers, quiet dinners. Again, I blamed stress. Life does that to you. You explain away the cracks until the whole wall collapses. One night, I walked into the kitchen and saw them standing too close, too quiet, too still. They jumped apart like teenagers caught stealing candy. Linda laughed it off. "Oh, please, Maggie, you're imagining things." Robert avoided my eyes. My stomach tightened, but I swallowed the feeling. That was my mistake. It was a rainy Thursday. I came home early from work because my head was pounding. The house was unusually quiet. Robert's car was in the driveway. That alone made my heart race. I walked inside slowly. I heard laughter upstairs. Linda's laugh. My feet felt heavy, like they were sinking into the floor. I climbed the stairs quietly and pushed open the bedroom door. What I saw still visits me in my dreams. My husband, my best friend, in my bed. Time froze. Sound disappeared. The world tilted. Linda screamed. Robert jumped up, panicking. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stared. Something inside me cracked so deep, I don't think it ever fully healed. Linda tried to explain, said it just happened, said she loved him, said she didn't mean to hurt me. Robert said he was confused, lonely, stupid excuses wrapped in cowardice. I kicked them both out of my house that night. My daughter watched from the hallway, tears streaming down her face. That broke me more than the betrayal itself. Divorce came fast, ugly, cold. Linda disappeared from my life completely, or so I thought. For years, I lived quietly. I worked. I raised Emily. I rebuilt myself slowly. I stopped trusting easily, stopped letting people too close. Pain ages you faster than time ever could.
Linda married Robert 6 months after the divorce. Yes, my best friend became my replacement. I never spoke to either of them again, or so I believed. 25 years passed. My daughter grew up, moved away, built her own life. I stayed in the same house, same quiet street, until one evening I heard a knock on my door. Slow, weak, almost afraid. When I opened it, I saw a face I hadn't seen in decades. Older, tired, broken. Linda, standing there crying. And the first words she said, "Margaret, please, you're the only one who can save me." I hadn't seen Linda's face in 25 years, but time hadn't been kind to her. Her hair was thin and dull, her hands were shaking. Her expensive coat couldn't hide how fragile she looked underneath. This wasn't the confident woman who once stole my life. This was someone running from something. "Margaret, please," she whispered. "I have nowhere else to go." Every instinct in my body screamed to slam the door shut, but curiosity, that dangerous little voice, made me step aside. She walked into my living room like a ghost returning to a crime scene. She stared at the family photos, at Emily's graduation picture, at the old couch she once slept on. Her eyes filled with guilt. "I ruined everything," she said quietly. I didn't respond. Silence can be sharper than any insult. Finally, she spoke. Robert had died 2 years earlier, heart attack, left behind massive debt, bad investments, legal problems, hidden loans under her name. Their luxury life had been fake. The house was gone, the savings were gone, friends disappeared. Worst of all, someone was threatening her now. A private lender, a man who didn't believe in second chances. "They'll take everything, maybe worse," she cried. "I just need a loan, temporary. I'll pay you back." I almost laughed. The woman who destroyed my marriage, now asking me for mercy. But something in her story felt incomplete. Fear doesn't lie, but people do. So I agreed, not to give her money, but to listen, because I wanted the truth. Over the next few days, Linda kept calling me, texting me, updating me on her danger. But her timelines didn't match. Her details changed. Her panic felt rehearsed. So I started digging, quietly. Public records, old contacts, court filings. And that's when I found it. Linda wasn't just in debt. She was under investigation for financial fraud. Fake charities, stolen retirement funds, forged signatures, including my name. 20 years ago, she had used my identity to open accounts. I felt sick. Even after stealing my husband, she had kept stealing from my life. That night, I made a decision. I wouldn't save her. I would expose her. The next morning, Linda called crying again. "I think they're coming for me today." I smiled calmly. "Good," I said, "because so am I." I invited Linda over for coffee. She arrived shaking, paranoid, eyes darting toward the windows. I acted warm, supportive, understanding. I told her I might help financially. Hope lit up her face like a dying candle catching flame. But first, I said, I need full honesty, no secrets. She started confessing how she manipulated Robert, how she enjoyed replacing me, how money became addictive. I recorded everything, every word, every crime, every confession. She didn't notice. She was too busy drowning in her own desperation. Then I casually mentioned the fraud investigation. Her face turned pale. You know about that?" I leaned forward slowly. I know everything, Linda. Her mask collapsed. She begged, she cried, she threatened. I stayed calm. The power had finally shifted. But the real twist came when I revealed something else. I was no longer the broken woman she remembered. Over the years, I had quietly invested. Real estate, small businesses, rental properties. I was financially independent, strong, untouchable. Her eyes widened in disbelief. You're rich? I smiled softly. Enough to destroy lies. For one moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I remembered Emily crying in the hallway. My broken nights. My stolen future. Mercy isn't owed to someone who never showed any. So I sent the recordings anonymously to investigators. 3 days later, Linda was arrested. Fraud, identity theft, financial crimes. She called me from jail, screaming, cursing, begging. I didn't answer.
But karma wasn't finished yet, because what happened next changed something inside me too. Months passed. The court case moved forward. Linda faced serious prison time. One afternoon, I received a letter from her lawyer. She wanted to see me. Closure, they said. I hesitated. Then I agreed. She looked smaller behind the glass, older, defeated, not a villain anymore, just a human paying for her choices. She apologized, not dramatically, not perfectly, just honestly. I destroyed your life because I hated my own, she said. For the first time, I believed her, and something unexpected happened. I forgave her, not for her sake, for mine. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, it releases the poison from your future. I walked out lighter, stronger, whole. I went home, sat on my porch, watched the sunset. I realized something powerful. She stole my husband, but she never stole my dignity, my resilience, my ability to rebuild. Life doesn't always give revenge. Sometimes it gives peace. And peace is the greatest victory of all. And if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that strength always rises after pain, then please hit the like button to support this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another powerful story. Your support keeps these stories alive. Thank you for listening.